Happy Friday. I don't even know what episode this is because I've been gone for 3 weeks, but this is for no particular reason with your amazing host, Kerri Lewis, alongside my equally amazing co host, Yanko. And we are here every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central Time, and 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to entertain you with nothing, everything, and anything in between. So, with that being said, Yanko was Bennett Grip. What's poppin', my amazing friend?
I'm so excited. I kind of missed you for not having you in the show for quite a little bit, so
I know,
I'm really
likewise.
uh, I'm really happy that we're back and we can continue to do those shows.
I agree. And this is our first show together in 2026. So, hello, happy 2026 for you and me, even though, there was a show last week. But our dear friend Gail Kraft jumped in for me, and I appreciate her immensely for always coming in clutch.
Yep. So what's going on? What's being, what's new?
Well, it's so interesting. So, yesterday or the day before, I was given an opportunity to recognize a core wound that I still needed to release, and it has to do with immediate family members. And so, I just started laughing. And this is a reminder for anybody out there who does this work. The work will always present itself. You don't have to overthink healing or what you need to do. You recognize something that comes up for you. You could call it a trigger, something that creates an emotional response, an energy response, and then you honor it in that moment and you release it. Doesn't mean it's not going to come back again. It just means that in that time frame you released what you needed to. But I was just laughing because I'm like, damn, every time, not that I usually think I have it figured out, but every time I'm like, oh, I healed that, something gives me an opportunity to be like, no, you didn't.
Well, that's part of the whole. I don't know if you want to call it a game or uh, life or whatever you want to call it. It keeps
100%.
it's on going. Yeah.
And it keeps on going and going and going. Hi, Bonnie. Thank you for tuning in. I have not been here for a while. And then I believe on Instagram, Emery's Annex is on. So big love to you, amazing soul. I don't know that we've met in person, but I know that we have a mutual friend in my best friend, Lindsay Height. So we appreciate you joining. But anyway,
Yeah, well, appreciate.
go ahead. That's you.
I was just gonna say we appreciate you all for joining us, and Bonnie is one of our regulars. Thanks, Bonnie.
I know. Oh, so Emery Annex says we're always healing at different levels. Facts, and I think as you move through levels of consciousness, it brings a deeper awareness and gives you the opportunity to go further into releasing those core rooms. I love you too, Maurice. And you are always welcome to join our show. You just have to nudge me and I will send you the link. Any Friday you want to pop on and come play with Yanko and I, have at it. We're always welcoming guests and we're big about just going with the flow, which is why our show is called For No Particular Reason.
Yeah, it's really easy going. Grab yourself a cup of coffee. Join and have a conversation. Yep.
But but yeah, so it was just so interesting because I keep hearing this narrative, from all of these um people that it's the year of the fire horse, and I think that it's easy to get caught up in this illusion that we changed numbers from 25 to 26, so immediately everything's all better and it's just going to be yummy delicious, and I'm like, nah, I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's so remind me if I forgot. Are you in numerology or any of that stuff or?
I am when it shows up for itself. Like I wanna explain that because this is super fascinating.
Okay.
So what I mean by when it shows up, if it presents me, like if the information comes to me, I'll read it. But I don't actively seek, information around numerology or all these things. But I was laughing because I have been dealing with lower back pain for decades. And as of late, I've been able to release some of like this tightness. All of a sudden, on my computer, out of nowhere, it gave me information about the psoas muscle and the fact that you can stretch a psoas muscle, but the psoas is directly related to your root chakra, security and safety. So if you've ever experienced insecurity and safety, your psoas muscle locks up, thus preventing you from actually taking deep breaths in to your belly, into your kidneys, and into your colon lining, which helps you release your psoas muscle. So I'm like, oh, that makes sense because as I'm continuing to dive into like that core wound around safety and security, it's starting to release. And the information presented itself to me when I was conscious and in enough awareness to understand. So
Yeah.
yes, I follow numerology when it presents itself like it did with the fire horse, but I don't know much beyond that.
My take, it's kind of the same. I see if new like if something is a synchronicity happens, but I don't go and say, oh, it's the year of the horse or whatever with the numbers are aligning and all of that other stuff. And you know, because I think that's, to me, that it's messing with your mind, like me and you
I
been talking
agree.
about it, because then you give your mind more foot to like imagine, do other things, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, it's
Do I
it's
want to
interesting.
entertain it?
Uh, Thank you, Rusty, for letting us know that Yanko got cleared up. We appreciate you. He was just telling me he got a new camera that he's vibing with, but technology and energy going through the channels to present us to your amazing self gets to choose how it wants to present us. But I agree with you. Going back to what you said, I find I love to read and I'm a nerd, but I also I realize that the more information I get, the more I'm feeding my ego, essentially, because I'm trying to understand what is incomprehensible. We can't possibly understand limitless creation because it's just that it's limitless. So, I generally, if it comes into my awareness and it interests me, I'll read it. But otherwise, I tend to be like you, and I listen to myself more than anybody. It's why I'm my favorite person. I really am because I know that source, my connection with limitless creation is my guidance, and that's ultimately what I need.
Yeah. Well, I think it could be my internet. Let me see if I can fix it, because you just cut off for a second there. If that will fix the issue that I've been having. But by the way, I've been having issues with the internet since yesterday, and they claim they fixed it, but I don't know. You hear me okay?
I do. You're fine with me.
Okay. All right. Very good. So,
Oh, look at we got. I was just. You must have heard your ears ringing, Gail. I was talking about you, saying you're amazing. As
yep.
always, you're welcome to partake in the party if you so choose. And if not, just know me and Yanko are sending you high vibe, love, and energy.
Yeah. So, again, I don't know. Like anything in life, I find numbers fascinating because everything it's connected, and math kind of explains it in a way that the mind can make sense of it. Um, but I don't take it as like, oh, let's see what we can do with this, and like, start entertaining the mind. Oh, what do you know? Are we gonna have somebody else join us? There you go.
What's up, Sunshine?
Hello,
Oh,
hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Like my dragon?
I do. I love the colors. Actually, it matches my skull nails, kind
Of
of, sort
course
of.
it does.
Of
Of
course, I
course it
have the
does.
bling bling because, I gotta be sparkly like my personality.
Oh,
Although
oh
I'll
my
tell you
gosh.
right now, I was not sparkly the past couple weeks because I was telling Yanko, whatever the universe decided to bring into my awareness in terms of sitting on my ass and healing, oh my God, it beat me up.
Yeah, a lot of people have been feeling tired, feeling sick, feeling out of source, which is the end of 2025 was like, okay, if you're carrying any more garbage, dump it. Dump it now because 2026 is the time to shine. And you can't shine if you've got that stuff fogging the way. And I'll tell you when we're off the air because it's really woo woo. What happened yesterday? No, Wednesday morning
I
to
like it when
me.
you say it's just too
It,
woo.
it's way woo woo.
Well, what is woo woo? Because
Okay, all right.
because like
So I'll
I
tell
will.
you. Go ahead. All right, guys, suck it up. So, I was in a meditation. I've been going through some training this amazing woman's been giving, and she has great meditations, but I visualize or feel what I want to feel no matter what anyone is leading. So I saw the Christed golden dragon step into me. I saw the white god dragon step into me. And then near the end of her meditation, I saw like eggshells fall away and I burst out. So you have no idea how I felt after that. Like I get tinglies now just remembering it. So at the end, she said, "So what did everyone experience?" And she got to me, and I'm thinking, should I tell her? Should I tell her? And I went, screw it, tell her. So I did. And she said, "Gail, I saw the egg around you break, and this energy burst out." So she saw what I was experiencing. Guys, if you don't believe this stuff is true, I'm sorry. How does that happen?
Well, I also think, I mean, this is the thing is why do people trust in the internet connection and TV connections and radio connections, but we don't believe in frequencies and look, you and I have had this conversation before. Like if we're limitless creation, then it's limitless. So I don't identify or align with quote unquote dragon energy, but that doesn't mean that I don't trust that that is your truth because we're limitless and that is what you experience and that's your experience.
Right?
And so I have no doubt. And again, we're magnets, so we attract what is a mirror to us. So of course you're
Mhm.
going to connect with the limitless energy in other forms that see and connect with dragons and that experience as well. I'm a big believer of that.
Absolutely. And it's just, it's just a type of energy, a type of frequency, right? In today's meditation that someone was giving, there was a lot that went on. But as that was going on with me, I saw dogs show up, cats show up, tigers show up through the, and I'm like, well, hi. Well, hello. Well, hello. Right. Just like as they're coming in, just saying hello. And to me, it's just, do you believe in spirit guides? No, I believe in tapping into certain energy when you need it. And they were just coming in to support the transformation I was going through. So cool. Welcome,
Yeah.
one and all.
I don't
Uh,
think that was that woo. Like you're, I was intrigued. I wanted to find out, and thanks for sharing. But this isn't anything new, at least to me. I don't know. Some people it might be.
Mhm.
A lot of
I've,
people, I think it's new to them or there's resistance to it. But here's what I would say to the listening audience. If there's resistance, that's just an opportunity for you to get curious. Like,
Right.
don't reject the resistance or don't try to force yourself to believe anything.
Right.
Also, with healing, I work with a lot of individuals and I encourage individuals to consider a different perspective or to try a different tool. But I always emphasize that if there is resistance to what it is that I'm sharing, one, don't force it because you never want to force anything because that's
Right.
ego. And two, the resistance is the opportunity. It's a gift. It's providing you with
The
information
message.
around being blocked around something and ask yourself why. And usually it's around safety and security. Interestingly enough, that's what most people struggle with is, oh my God, this lady's talking about seeing dragons and stuff, and that shakes the
And they're
very
so awful.
core
They're
of
so
my
evil.
idea of, this world and what that is. And so, just be open to the resistance and it will teach you a lot about yourself.
Yep, absolutely.
believe it or not, some people resist the dragons because they associate them with the Draco reptilians, and
Right.
they have that negative of like everything because like everyone's talking about like how the reptilians are bad and all this other thing. Um, but I think that's part of like where people are getting hung up on beliefs like anything else, because like it's just like religion. This is better than that, and this is better than this, and maybe oh my god, this is the other thing, and I don't know.
Yes, and so if you can't wrap your mind around something, you know, like you said, Carrie, let's just get curious about it. And don't force it because that just creates resistance, but be curious. I've been doing this dragon thing not even a year. It'll be a year March 1st. I swear to God. Right? And the more that I've engaged with the idea of that energy, the more love that I've been able to bring into my life, like I can't explain, right? But when I think of a dragon, I think of looking into any pets like a horse. If you held a horse's face and looked into their eyes, the love and trust that comes from that, that's what I experience when I talk about dragons. And the people that work with me, that's what they're experiencing. It's incredibly beautiful. Right? And so why wouldn't you want to feel that kind of love? Why wouldn't you want to feel that kind of security, that kind of safety? Imagine a dragon loving you and putting its wings around you to protect you during a moment. I mean, what could be more powerful than a dragon holding you in his or her wings with love?
Well, I mean, I think love again for you and me, it's very different. I feel no way about dragons. There's
Yep.
not like there is nothing that's like, oh great, a dragon cuddled me, and there's no resistance either. There's nothing.
Right.
So again, for the listening audience, it's just what you guys align with. Either
Yeah.
spirit guides or archangels
Right.
or whatever the case is, there's no right or wrong. It's what really feels supportive and nurturing to you. And so again, being curious and being open to having new experiences.
Right. Right.
What's this? Some
Some
people
people
call
call it
it,
doing heroin.
I think it's heron.
Her-
It's
What? So it's heron.
heron, yeah. I
I'm going to look
mean,
that up.
isn't heron a bird?
I don't know. We're going to look it up. I thought so. So
um
I'm curious about what that comment means, so I'm going to figure it out.
Well, Rusty
me
is known for being quite the little prankster, which interestingly enough, though, Rusty, earlier you said something about a tattoo around Garfield. And this is where I just want to
Right.
highlight everybody is truly connected. I haven't thought about Garfield in decades. I mean, Garfield was like way back, right? So a couple weeks ago, when Nana and I were talking about cosplays, Garfield came up. The very next day, my niece hands me a pencil with a Garfield eraser, and I'm like laughing because I'm like, of course, she handed me a pencil with a Garfield eraser. And now, Rusty, you're asking me if I have a Garfield tattoo, which I can assure you I do not. So if I'm going to align with anything, I would say it's probably the phoenix because that's what's tattooed on my body. But even still, I don't really think about it in that context. But the whole purpose is when you put that out there, I started rolling because I'm like, of course Rusty mentioned Garfield because I was just thinking
Oh,
about Garfield.
I mean, we're
And
all
that
interconnected anyway, so
everything.
like everything, a lot of those live streams when we do, you say something that I've already been thinking, or Gail does the same thing, and we're all kind of go in the same energy. We shared the
it's
same
not
thought.
coincidence.
Yeah,
It happens too frequently for it to be coincidence.
Well, that, I mean, and that's what I would encourage people to continue stack evidence. You know what I mean? Just stack evidence. Stack the parking spot that opened up when you thanked the universe for getting it before you ever showed up in the garage. Uh, like when somebody calls you out of the blue when you were just thinking about them. Don't take our word for it. Just stack evidence, and then
Right.
as you stack evidence, you continue to like prove, and that's why in a lot of scripture it's like you only need a mustard seed size of faith, and then that faith will present the evidence you need to continue to surrender and trust.
And then more evidence will become obvious because you're
Yep.
starting to pay attention.
So totally different topic, but since we were
Okay.
talking about healing, and I'm always big about keeping it real with everybody, I had no idea you could orgasm on your left side. So because I always felt my orgasms on just my right side because my masculine energy was always in control. And so like a week or two ago, I'm like, holy shit, I can feel it on both sides.
Right. I'm like, what
It
do you
was
mean
like
sides? I've
I
never had a side preference.
yeah, no, but again, I mean, I don't know if it's like sexual trauma I've experienced or previous lifetimes, but I had no fucking idea. And it was like a whole mind blowing concept. I was like, oh, so this is where like what it reminded me of is perspective. I would never have known that, right? And like, I mean, I love sex. Everybody knows I love sex. So I'm like, I would just, people assume, and then I'm like, wow, like, oh, wow, people had this. It was really cool.
Well, what's interesting about that, Carrie, is the way that we communicate with each other, it lacks detail. Because I will
Mm.
say, for example, wow, I had an orgasm last night. And I will assume that your experience of one and my experience of one
Yes.
would be the same.
Yep.
And they're not. I mean, that's just one small example of every conversation we have every moment of every day.
Yeah.
I provide minimal details of a description. You fill in the blanks, making shit up. You fill in the blanks to create a picture that your mind can see and a feeling you can feel that you think is what I just said, but it's not.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. And like Rusty just said, he feels it in his balls, which like Gail and I don't have balls. So like I could never have that experience. You
I'd
know?
have to go to a past life and see if I could get that experience.
I mean, talk to Yanko. He's had some really unique experiences in his past life. So
oh man.
and this is why we call this show for no particular reason, guys, because there's
but
no
but
filter, and I will talk about anything that comes to my
Who
mind,
cares?
literally.
No
you,
judgment. No
you,
judgment.
you, you're right about that assumption that everyone does. And if somebody is paying attention when they're having a conversation with somebody, that could be a good conversation deepener. Where when you get like a service kind of level information, you can go, but what do you mean? And you can get a little more to get the whole picture. And then they give you a little more, and you go like, oh, but what do you mean? And you get a little more. to kind of get the whole thing of like what's going on, because
I'll tell
people, just
you,
like you said.
and I might have said this to you before, Yanko. I've been playing with AI, like AI, and I created that dragon. Um, because wanted to create unique images for a book that is about to be published in
Hmm.
a couple of months. And I will tell you, at first it'd be like, nope, that's not what I want. Nope, that's not what I want. And now, one shot, because I go into, um, I helped a woman create her banner. So we took her
Hmm.
picture, and I said, well, what do you want? She said, I want to be walking on the beach. I said, okay. So I'm typing, I'm saying, please create a picture using this image of this person walking on the beach, and it is at sunset, and the water is doing this, and the sand is that, and the wind is this, and her dress is that, and her hair is this, right? And she's like, holy crap. I'm like, and when it came, and it's, the moon is here, and I want, no, actually it was sun, and then I did an evening one. And she's like, this is amazing. I said, because I've learned
How to speak it.
how to fill in the blanks of
Yeah.
details
Yeah.
so that AI gets what I'm talking about and can see what I'm seeing in my mind as
It
close as.
actually works. It actually works the other way around when you're guiding somebody in a trance or
Yeah,
like in a thing. You want to be ambiguous as much as possible so they can fill the blanks with
right.
whatever their images come out. Because if I say, now you're on the beach, looking at the sunset, and they might say, I hate beaches, inside their
Yes.
head.
I don't
And
like the
and you can
mountains,
say,
right?
yeah, and you can say, well, and you taking a seat and you're laying down on the beach, and they say, well, I don't like to lay in the hot sun, on the
I don't like
sand
the
or whatever.
sand. Yep,
Yeah, I don't like it. How would you know?
right. Right. Yes, because when I do guided meditations, I definitely will say, I even say, find some place comfortable, sitting or laying down, whatever works for you,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
right? Whatever
yeah,
works for you.
yeah,
Right? Standing up, I don't, well, you can do a walking meditation, right? So whatever works for you. And so the imagery that we create is, imagine how it would feel if you were in nature. Imagine how it would feel, what's going on with, and then I would ask what's happening with all of the elements. I wouldn't tell them. I'd say, how does the sun feel? What's the air smell like? What's the ground feel like, right? So that they can develop their own sense. And I try to use all senses because not everyone visualizes, folks, and that's
yep,
okay.
yeah, yep, yep,
That
yep,
doesn't mean you're not meditating.
yeah, yeah. Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And Carrie is sitting there. Wow, look at, I don't have to keep talking.
No, yeah, I just like it. I mean, I feel the same way. I really work toward being not even work, like I just with my language, I'm very mindful about for me, it's working with people on examining their old patterns of belief. And if I come up with something for them, now I'm placing something in their brain. That's not my job. It's really to get them curious to discover what's true for them. And that's really, really important for me.
Right,
So I work towards not creating what exists within my experience in their experience because we are very different. And that's, an important piece of self-love and connection with source is we have 8 billion plus different humans for a reason. There's 8 billion plus different creations to
different
connect with
frequencies.
in their own way. And that's where this idea of religious ideology and stuff cracks me up because all people are doing are falling trapped to dogma and ego. So
Knowledge. They're getting trapped in knowledge. Oh, I know. I know. I'm right.
Oh
You're
gosh,
wrong. I got the answers. You don't. I got
knowledge
the
is not
unlimited.
knowing,
I,
folks. Knowledge is not knowing.
yeah.
the greatest quote that I ever heard, and it's so true because I know it, is the more tapped in you are, the more bewildered you are.
Thank you. The
You're just like
Yep.
Garfield, like the orgasm. You're just like, what
what?
the?
I
That
didn't know that was
yeah,
there, right?
like,
Right?
and
It's
so
right.
it it's just so interesting. I just and that's why I don't know what your experience is with dragons. I don't know what but I don't have to. What I do know is my own, and I really enjoy my own. So I keep going down the rabbit hole of Kerry's.
So Carrie, you know that my belief is that in my experience, you're just a bit player in my life's experience. You come in or not as I see fit, right? Because I am the creator of my reality, right? And so what's really interesting is when my clients finally alchemize that, and that means they don't understand it. They live it, they know it, they breathe it, they feel it. Their life turns around completely
Yep.
because I really own. I don't want to say you because I don't want to talk about you. I don't know you. I know me. I only know me, truly. And I know that I now can own all of the good and all of the bad, what we call bad in our life, because I created it. I created it for a reason. And so my purpose is to figure out, so what's the clue there that I need to waking up? Why did I create that trauma or that glory to wake up? Oh, here's what I learned. Here's how I changed. Here's what I can do about that moving forward. Okay, I'm done with you. You're in the past. I got what I needed from it. Simple. Yet not, because I don't identify anymore with stuff. I just identify with this moment right now.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know. I think no, I it's it's just an experience. Whatever experience comes up, I know I'm having an experience I shared earlier, right? Like with my immediate family, my mother, like yesterday, and I just okay, this is coming up. I need to address it, and now I'm gonna keep it moving, and I keep it moving, and something else comes up, and I honor it, and I release it, and I keep it moving, and you know, my word for the year, because I always pick words, is jubilation. So if it ain't, and everybody knows, because last year and I mean, people know if it ain't fun, I ain't doing it. So
Right?
everything is like, I have this lens of jubilation. So I hated updating my website, bye bye website, hated updating my CRM, bye bye CRM, don't like this, bye bye. Had a relationship that I felt like the person only called me when they wanted help with their stuff. Bye bye. And I'm just like, it doesn't even have to make sense. I'm not trying to make anybody bad. All I'm doing is if it does not feel yummy, if it does not bring me elation, if it does not feel to the core like so nurturing and just fun, it's not for me. And I will roll on out and say peace and chicken grease.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And so, I'll share a bit of a conversation I had. Um, and, the universe made so many changes in my life this year so that I could make the changes I needed to make in my life and make choices. And in one conversation I had with my sister, and I started the conversation with, I have no intention of explaining to you why I made the choices I made. It's really none of your business. But I will tell you, I made the choices with the best intention in mind. If it didn't turn out that way, believe me, it wasn't anything in my control. And how you deal with it is beautiful.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is so often we filter ourselves, and when we filter ourselves we limit ourselves because we're fearful of how the other person is going to respond, react, or whatever.
Oh my God,
my
she's
job's not
pissed.
my job's not to worry about that. My
No.
job is not to I said to my father, I was like, I am not interested in sharing my life with my mother. It doesn't mean I don't love her. I love my mother deeply. My mother is my brother. My mother is me. I am my mom. Like I have a deep, immense, profound, unconditional, respectful love for her. But I also don't tolerate bullshit. And I
Right.
refuse to have anybody, and so how that sat with anybody in my family isn't my concern. My concern is, am I living in joy?
Yes.
And here's the other thing, because what I find, I just had two conversations with two people prior to this show. Why in 2026 do people still have such a hard time giving themselves permission to feel joy? I mean, how me and Nana have a whole show, The Bright Side Chronicles, to cultivate joy, and we hear it all the time. People don't give themselves permission. Or I talk to individuals all the time, and their spouses tear them down, or they tell them they're crazy for wanting to cosplay, whatever. They can think whatever they want. It's your life. It's your life. And do you really want to go to your grave being like, oh, I lived a mundane, basic, just getting by life? No, you are entitled to the kingdom of heaven here on earth, however you derive that. But we are our natural state is joyful, compassionate, unconditional love, abundance. We are whole. And so you get to give yourself permission to experience that. And I really encourage people, if you have resistance to that, ask yourself what is coming up for you that prevents you from cultivating and experiencing joy, because that is your inherent birthright,
Joy, 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 joy.
right?
Right?
I'm just saying.
Right? So, yeah, I totally believe that I wasn't placed here to suffer, right? And you and I both know, and so does Yanko, that suffering is caused because I hang on to the story.
Yep.
Suffering is caused because I identify with the story. Suffering is caused because being the martyr or being the victim brings me something,
That's
right?
right. There's a
Right?
payoff.
There is something I get out of that,
Yeah.
right? And the moment that I step out of that, and there's a big fear because you don't know what's on the other side. But believe me, guys, there's freedom on the other side.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I also think, I think honestly, people pleasers are very selfish. And
Yes.
let me tell you, this is where people are going to be like, what do you mean? I'm just trying to care for other people's needs. And no, 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 no. You're being selfish, because if you focus on everybody else's mama drama, baby bullshit, you don't have to focus on yourself.
Yep.
And you don't want to focus on yourself, because then you have to look at all the areas that you are really unfulfilled. And if you have to face your unfulfillment, what do you want to do? You need to take action. And taking action feels scary, to what you just said, Gail. So sitting there and focusing on why Sally Sue broke up with Joe Schmo and how he was disrespectful and cheating, instead of looking at the fact that you are unfulfilled in your relationship, that is your, like, unintentionally. I'm not blaming anybody. This is through no judgment. I was caught up in drama for a lot of my life, but that I had to realize part of me stepping in everybody else's mess was so that I could avoid my own dung pile. You know what I'm
Right?
saying?
And honestly, do you want someone who has a screwed up life being your coach, being your guide, being your mentor? I
I mean,
But
mean,
they do, though.
but they
people do
do.
though. That's what I was gonna
Better.
say. That's part of the thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think? Why do you think reality sells out too
Oh
much?
my
Because
God, the
you get
Kardashians
in somebody
celebrated
else's
20
crap,
years.
and all of a sudden your life it's not so miserable, and
Ugh.
you're like, oh look, I'm actually okay.
And
Meanwhile, you're not,
honestly,
though, because you can't. Like, can you really look at your life? I'm going to keep it real, because I keep it real with everybody about everything. I even said to Nani yesterday, things in our relationship have to change. It's not jubilation for me, because he's grown a certain way. I've grown a certain way. Not right or wrong, not good or bad, but but that's real. And I'm constantly looking for, am I in ultimate utter joy? Can I sit and be like, oh, and if I can't, something's got to change. And I take personal responsibility for that. I don't put that on anybody else. I don't.
yeah.
I owe it to myself to cultivate and find what brings me joy. And I will, because I know that as I experience and cultivate joy, then I have an overflowing cup that does nothing but offer unconditional love to everybody I encounter and to the world. And that to me is really important, because otherwise, what we're offering is illusion, and that creates the turmoil that we're continuously seeing in this world right now.
Well, this world is an illusion,
Well, it is, but
right? Right? And we are the result of the stories that we create.
yep.
Our beliefs, our biases, you know, it's all a construct. It's all a
Mm,
construct.
mm.
And therefore, you can change your story. I
Become,
just
yeah.
finished this year's programs for me. I have a huge master class, and it's in modules, right? So I can give just one module, I can give all of them with an amazing workbook. And it's all about we are just energy.
Yeah,
And the last
100%.
module is the game called life. How do you play it? So we've just went through understanding energy, understanding the universal laws, understanding a whole bunch of stuff that is who we are. Now that you know who you are, what do you do about it? You play the game. You play the game knowing the rules and knowing how to navigate. Whew.
I was gonna say, split wood, carry water. Once you
Yeah.
understand.
You still split wood, carry water, but you split wood carrying water with a whole different perspective. Yeah.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, oh, did you put that up? Is that?
Yeah, I did.
I love you so. This is my guy. Hi. Happy Friday. I'm so glad you dropped in. Talk about a beyond incredible artist. And Sai has made 3 pairs of boxing gloves with skulls on them for me. My first pair was the favorite, and the damn dog ate it, but I love them all.
Uh-huh.
And he is just he's so family, and I haven't talked to him in a really long time, so I'm so glad you said hi. Anyway,
Anyway,
um yeah, and that's the thing is it is about playing the game, and ultimately we get to create the reality we want to experience. We really do. And so for me, I understand the laws, right? And let me be very clear, people. The energy you put out is coming back to you, which is why I am very
yeah.
mindful that how I respond to anything is what's going to come back to me. And sometimes it bites me in the ass, right? I popped off on somebody the other day for coming at my man, and I was like, well, you know what, first off, that's not even who I want to be. It's not even who I want to be.
I saw that.
Yeah. But second of all, like, that has to inevitably come back to me, because being unkind is going to come back to me in some way, shape, or form. That's a law. But also, the game of life is to experience joy. I mean, unless you don't want to, you don't have to, but you get to. And the more you
But that's the
cultivate,
highest frequency.
I know,
That's the whole
and
point.
you attract more joy. That's the thing. I'm like,
That's
why
what we're
wouldn't
trying
you?
to achieve.
I know, why
There's
wouldn't you want to
nirvana.
be joy? I'm just saying.
Yep,
But hey,
yep.
you know, some people really, really love to, they don't know any different. I don't want to say they love, they don't know a different experience. And so they are so trapped in this unconsciousness of suffering that they feel that they can't get out. The other thing is, and this is why I cannot stand the word teach peace. You want to know why? Yes, preach. Because most people don't know peace. How do you teach what you do not have yourself? And in fact, I'm gonna really upset some people. Martin Luther King didn't know peace. He was constantly anxious. He's worried about being assassinated and stuff. He did it, like, there was a bit of a disconnect. He wanted to teach love, and I get that, but right? He literally told people before he died that he was going to get assassinated. Like, we manifest our reality, guys. Kobe Bryant told people for years he wanted to die young and go out on top. Well, he did. And that the guy who's the runner who just ran the Olympics, he was going to do the 400 and the 200 meter, and he was going to like break world records. Nana and I were watching a documentary on him joking about getting COVID. Guess what? He got COVID and did not achieve his result because we create our realities, y'all. I'm just saying.
I
I
mean,
call it
I
speaking
catch.
into existence, honey. That's how we create our reality. So the whole first module is your thoughts, right? Create your words create your actions, and your actions create your reality. Period. Because that's what you pull in. It's not woo woo, guys. Even the vision of the eggshell and all that kind of stuff, it's just how I took an energy shift I was going through and visualized it. That's all.
Well, I mean, and here's the thing, like, no matter how you slice it, you could be into numerology, you could be into science, quantum physics, which I know that Gail, you and I go down the rabbit hole with. You can be into neuroscience, you can be into different theologies, which I am very versed in world theologies. At the end of the day, everything's leading you to oneness. Everything's leading you to that ultimate joy anyway. It doesn't matter how you get there. It really, really doesn't. And so, uh, kind of like what Yanko and I were talking about, and not getting caught up in numerology or whatever. Like, don't get caught up on the story of what you need to study or how you need to study it or whatever. Really, your ultimate compass should be, does this bring me jubilation? Am I in joy? And if
Right.
I'm not in joy, what do I need to take on a stock on to feel more joyful? And it can be a very simple thing as practicing gratitude. That will rewire stuff right there.
So your life, every hour, every minute, your energy, every vibration, every frequency is a dollar that you cannot earn back. Once it's spent, it's called spending time, guys. Once it's spent, it's gone. So how do you want to spend that energy? Do you want to spend it in suffering? Do you want to spend it in judgment? Do you want to spend it in fear? Do you want to spend it in anger? Do you want to spend it in frustration? Do you want to spend it in any of those lower vibrations, shame, sadness? I mean, then you are choosing to spend your money, spend your life foolishly.
Well, I mean, can I lovingly disagree?
You can
A
please.
couple of things. One, you're spending your life in a way that doesn't align with me, Yanko, and Gail. It's not foolish, because if that's what your jam is to suffer, have at it. Real quick, I want to say hi, Miss Nerdy Mama, aka Anna. I'm so glad I caught you, because I've been Anna. I want on this show. Anna, it's Anna. I remembered Anna.
I don't know.
She talk about somebody who steps into joy. Not only is she an amazing mom, because I see her putting stuff out there, but she created workout shorts for Nana that were anime related, and she was super generous. So, yeah. Oh, so Anna would love to know how y'all's thoughts on how do you navigate burnout.
Oh,
So I definitely have thoughts, because I don't experience burnout, but I'd be curious what you two have to say. And Anna, you would Anna, see, I got it. You would definitely welcome to be on our show. I'm gonna send you the link again. But
oh,
anyway,
please.
go ahead, Gail Yanko. You want to take out burnout?
Sure, because I can talk about burnout. The first time that I really experienced crashing and burning, I think I was around 16. And I was going to school until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, going to work until 9 o'clock at night, getting home by 9:30, doing my homework, getting up again in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning so that I can get to school and do the whole routine over again. And I was dating and having parties and having fun on the weekends. Now I worked at like a convenience store, and I'm at a register, And someone asked if I could break the 10 into fives and a 5 and 5 ones. And I bawled and I bawled and I bawled and I couldn't stop crying. I had to be sent home. And I spent 3 days curled up in a fetal position crying. Talk about burnout. So I've gone through that maybe 2 other times in my life, but what I learned is, how do I deal with burnout? I pay attention to my body, I listen to my body, and I don't get burned out anymore.
But also prioritizing yourself. Like this is
Right.
look, you're a mom of young kids, so I get it because I raised young kids. Gail and Yanko are both parents, so 100% understand that. But we can't really pour from an empty cup. And there's this bullshit continued narrative that says that one, we have to do it all. The house has to be clean. The kids have to have perfect clothes, whatever. But also that we got to put everybody else's, our husbands need first, the house needs, the kids needs. No, you don't. What are you doing for yourself? Like, are you, you know, how do you start your morning? Because I am selfish with my mornings. My girls know mama is going to meditate. Mom's going to do her stuff. She's going to stretch. I'm available if there's a 911, but there isn't. I mean, granted, they're self-sufficient. Now, when you have young kids, sometimes that means waking up a little bit early and going to bed a little bit earlier so that you can have that individual time to ground yourself, and then pauses, throughout the day with young kids. I remember with my kids, oh, we're gonna sit on the floor and breathe in our bellies for a minute, because not only are you pausing and resetting your nervous system, you're teaching your kids to do the same. So I'm really big about, but again, it's so personal. So what is going to help you really reframe, like reset and nurture yourself? Because ultimately it's about nurturing yourself so that you have the
Yeah.
capacity to nurture other people. And what beliefs are coming up that no longer serve you, that are driving you to believe that you need to perform, that gets you to a place of burnout.
I was just gonna say
And
that.
one second, Yanko, then absolutely, because I do want to say this. I had a boss one time who called me in her office. She said, "I'm going to teach you something that's really important that you can carry for the rest of your life. Are you ready for this? Sit down, please. Put your lips together and
Say
say
no.
no."
No. My favorite word, multi-billionaires will always
No.
say,
And that's the
your bucket.
conversation that I had with my sister. You don't have to
No.
know why. You don't have to know why. It doesn't feel right. No.
So, Nerdy Mama says, this is all super good to hear. Caring for myself when I'm too tired from caring for everybody else is a daily struggle. But that's the thing is, so you're trying to care for yourself after having cared for everybody else.
It'll be the other way.
Switch it. I really encourage you, and I know because it takes effort. Like that's the work. That's why Gail and I mean, Gail's an alchemist, but she coaches, like, right? And I'm a coach because I help people hold themselves accountable to the commitments that they made for themselves until they can hold themselves, because the lies in our head are heavy and they're going to continue to try to get us off our tracks. But if you say it's a non-negotiable, Anna, I'm going to care for myself before I get up and change the wet diaper, before I, get my husband off to work or whatever, then eventually, like, it's not going to feel like a struggle, and more things will get done because you have the energy and the vibrancy to achieve that. Yanko, what were you going to say? Because both of these strong, empowered, baddie
Oh,
women
I know.
You
You
love
have
guys
more to
have
share,
motivation.
so
more
go, mister.
experience.
Go.
Yeah, you guys have more experience than that side of. I've worked in the corporate world and had my fair share of, burnout and stuff. But I think ultimately everyone will gonna come to understanding at one point of their life when they go and have the experience. And to me, it was just that, you're part of life. You can not participate in life. So my aha moment was that story of Buddha sitting under the Bodhi tree and all of a sudden understanding that, you're part of life. Like you cannot not do anything. You can try
Okay,
not
not
to
not
do
yeah.
anything, but since you're part of life will push you around, like the waves around. Maybe bird will come in, you know, chirp, break up your meditation, or somebody come in and see you sitting in a tree and say, "What is this guy doing? Is he okay? Let's go find out," or something. Something's going to happen. So ultimately, when you come to understand that life will continue lifing without you participating or with you participating, then that kind of give me a permission to be like, so I don't have to do it now. Like, it's not like now. If it's not me, something else is going to happen, because we're all together. Everything it's happening, it's a one big happening. So that's how I address it. I see it as like, all right, do I feel it right now? If I don't feel it, then it's going to be okay. And usually, when you give yourself permission to experience that kind of um, life to a different situations like that, then you'll see that that wasn't so scary. It wasn't so like now, like you got to do it now. It was okay. And the more you have that experience, the more permission you're going to give yourself and be like, okay, well, next time I'll do that again, and see how that plays out.
One of the things that I used to do, talk about what I used to do and what I do now. I used to meditate 3 times a day for like 10, 15 minutes. And I would go in the bathroom. Like, I was working at corporate at the time. I'd go in the bathroom, close the door, right? I'd go in the bathroom at home, close the door. Right now, I literally spend an hour in the morning just with myself, not on social media, not on whatever. Um, awesome. Um, just and I wouldn't say that I meditate, because I don't. Well, I do meditate, but I don't do it on a regular basis. I just sit and check out my body. How's my brain feeling today? Am I all tense and thinking all over the place? How's my neck feeling? How's my throat? Am I going to speak my truth today? How's my heart feeling? Right, go through your chakras. How is it feeling? How are you checking? How you doing today? How you doing? Right? And just feel yourself relax, because you're just giving your body attention that you weren't giving it before. And that doesn't take more than 5 minutes to go check, 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 check. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? And just let it go and breathe. That will
And
help you. Go ahead, Kerri.
all that is beautiful, but this is what I'm going to say to every listening person out there or watching. You got to give yourself permission. Just
Yeah,
because it's what you know doesn't mean that it's right. There's no right or wrong. There's your own personal what is going to serve you for your highest good. And we get so caught up in societal expectations, family conditioning, stories, wounds, trauma, that it's like we resist giving ourselves permission to be kind to ourselves. And if you're not kind to yourself, who's going to be kind to you? Like, no bullshit. If we attract what we are, right? If you're not kind to yourself, you're attracting people that say it's okay to be unkind to you. And so my parting words as we wrap up episode whatever in 2026 is give yourself permission to do what feels kind for you. And if there's resistance to even that idea, ask yourself why it is you're having a mental or physical resistance to treating yourself well.
right, right. And only you can solve that problem. As many people in the world can say, you deserve it, you're right, you're good. That means bullshit. That means nothing. You
Yep.
don't have to tell me I'm okay. I have to believe I'm okay.
It does take
Yep.
effort, people. I'm not
Oh,
here to sit here and say it's a walk in the park. Like, I really thought when I achieved awareness, I was going to skate through. And no, no, no. The universe said, oh, no, 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 no. We're going to bring up
chop
every
wood, carry
ugly,
water.
disgusting, sloppy, messy story, trauma, habit, but you face it with the understanding that you're safe. And you know what Yanko said was really big, and I really want to highlight this. This is the last point I'll make because we're past time. But when he was like, I don't have to do it today. And then he realized it wasn't scary. It felt safe. It probably worked out in his best interest. He taught himself that he was safe. And that's your root chakra, people. And most people's root chakras are way out of bonkers whack. I know mine was. I would even say I'm still working through stuff. So, just giving yourself permission to do what makes you feel safe, because you are entitled. Like, we exist in safety. We are whole. We are worthy of feeling that wholeness and that safety. So, any parting words, Yanko?
I was just gonna say, find out who you are. Like the more you find out who you truly are. In some people have that, like as a practice, the easier we'll get. Just find out who you are. What are you about? Like, what makes you feel good? What makes you feel
What's your bread
bad?
and
All
butter,
that stuff.
baby? Yep.
Yeah, there you go. And thank you all for all your beautiful messages, for joining our stream, chatting with us,
Woo-hoo!
vibing.
Hi,
We'll see you next
Anna.
Friday.
Tony, I got number of love for you, sending you love. Everybody else who's on here that I don't necessarily know, Mikaman, somebody. I mad love to all of you, Rusty and Bonnie and all the people. So thank you so much for being here. And last but certainly not least, thank you for gracing us with your beautiful
Oh,
alchemistic presence. We
I
love
love
you.
it. So much fun. I'm glad that I have the time. I pop in if I have the time.
You're always welcome. You don't even have to wait for an invite. You just say, I'm popping in.
Okay.
Two beans.
There you go.
Bye,
All
everybody.
right.